Yo, what up? This is WarBird. It is Monday, May 13th, 2024. I got some good news. So today, if you've been following the story, I moved to Las Vegas, only just a few items, right? Last Friday, had some training. They told me, come back Monday, come back Tuesday. We got some training, more training, and this, that, and the other. Okay. Went home for the weekend, Mother's Day, had a fantastic time. Got to see, my mom, my sister, a couple other people, and just had a blast. All right. So, wake up this morning in San Diego, 4 a.m. Had to be in Vegas at 12. Made the trip. Made it. Made it. Okay, so that was one thing. That's just a good day. You're making it, doing what you're supposed to do. You're in a groove, right? Cool. That's good. That's the type of things that we want. You know what I mean? Be busy, be moving, getting things done. Now, today at 12 o'clock, show up, and of course, training, right? I was there. They got a lot of good things going on here. They got some people in the leadership positions that they know what they're talking about. And if they don't know what they're talking about, they really do make it seem like they know what they're talking about. So, regardless of anything or not, I'm in a good work environment. Over there. They have an office. They have space, clean, cool. They have beverages, refreshments, and stuff like that. I'm happy to be there. It seems like I'm supposed to be there, And then I got a chance to listen to some people making their phone calls, and I was like, yeah, I was picking up some things that they were putting down, and where I could, I was lending, what I could, however I can help, when I can help, how I can help is how I do it. If that's someone's support, if it's my voice, if it's physical labor or anything else, I just do what I can. Then it was my turn. Okay, finally got to get on the phones. I finally started dialing. I got 3 appointments today. I got 3 today, my first day. I'm pumped up. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know who wants to hear this, right? But I'm an entrepreneur. That means I risk what's mine to build. Okay? I risk my own stability to be out here doing what I'm doing, to plant a flag, to build it up, and to be successful. Okay, that's what it means to be an entrepreneur. And I'm doing that here, like with every sense of the word, right? I'm in my office here. This is one of the call booths at my office here. But I got to leave this place sometime. So maybe an hour. Yeah, it's 8:30 when I got off, so it's probably about 8:30 now. And regardless of anything, things are just moving. And when you put your mind to things, and when you say you're going to do things, and you take action, and you doing the things that you feel that you should be doing, things are gonna go right. Okay? Doesn't matter what type of mood you're in. Doesn't matter what's going on out there, right? But when you got this on straight, your head, and you got your path laid out, and you got your plan, and you're following those things, you're gonna see success. You're gonna see movement. You're gonna see progress. Now, I don't know if you're looking for a job or not, right? But let me tell you about Vivint. Place is dope, right? Let's just say one of those appointments closes tomorrow or the next day, right? on Tuesday, and they sign. And on the following Tuesday, I get paid $500 for any one of those that sign. So if all three of them sign, that's $1,500. And that's just for the signing part, right? I'm not even getting paid. I'd still get paid the commission from those 3 deals 2 weeks from now. Now that's awesome. You know, it needs to go to permitting and installation and all that stuff. But after it gets installed, it takes about 2 weeks to get installed. After it gets installed, that's when I get my commission. And the $500 is just like the bonus on top. So I'm like, wow, you know, there's just, it's just money to be made. And on top of that, you know, Vivint, they need people to come and work with them. So like they give people like me, or you know, other people that work for the company, incentives to get people to come and say, hey, what's up? You know, I want to work there. I want to make the type of money that I see this guy doing. Well, hit me up. All right. There's plenty of ways to get in contact with me. I'm gonna submit a form, so anybody that wants to email me or anything like that, just hit me up. You know, I'm available and I can help you. And these guys are in all 50 states, so it doesn't have to be where I'm at. It could be where you're at. So, interested, let me know. Aside from that, we all are at different places in life. But no matter how different the places are, it's a pattern. People go through the same things. People have the same. There's only so much stuff here on Earth, right? And we can only think of the thing that we can think about. We can always put energy where we want to put it. Now, we need to start focusing on where we're putting our energy, right? Am I watching girls shake their ass on Instagram? Or am I studying a book? Or am I drinking at the bar and gambling and blowing money? You know, like there's just be mindful of the things that you're doing, okay? So a good point today that they're bringing up is like expectations. You know, when you're going around, you're laying expectations on everything, but at the end of the day, it's like, what are you expecting for yourself? For me, I wanted to call and I wanted to make some deals, and I wrote all this stuff down on what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, right? And I've been making videos on things. So this is my plan. This is how I'm bringing it about, and this is where I'm spending my energy, right? On myself, on the things that I'm doing. Why? Because I can be a solution to other people just by being 100% myself. You know, I can help other people by being me, and whether that's speaking, giving people some knowledge, putting people up on some game, helping people make some deals so they can make some money on it for themselves, and which in turn makes money for me. Somebody always needs that one thing, whether it be company, you know, whether it be a conversation, whether it be a couple of ducats, or just some help. When you find yourself being the solution to people's problems, is where you find success. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. This is Monday, and I think I'm going to skip a video for Tuesday, make one on Wednesday, and then make one on Friday, and then submit the video Friday evening, and then so everybody can have something to watch on the weekend. And going forward, I think I'm going to do one of these 30-minute videos at least once a week, and then do a couple of shorter ones. If you like what you've heard so far, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know how I can help you, Let me know how I can improve, and let me know what you want to see. Just tell me, comment, let me know, because I'll do some research, I'll put some videos together, and I'm going to bring some good information to you when I can. So with that being said, appreciate you.
But there's nobody in the mountains with me, then that's too bad. Because I like to be in the mountains. But because I want to have people around me, right? Because we're social people, right? Because I want to have people around me so bad, I'm gonna go into the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, and go smoke and drink and put myself in a lifestyle that's not mine. Why would I want? Why? For what?
Or what about this? Or put yourself in a lifestyle that you purposely got yourself out of. You know what I mean? It's like, right. you keep on saying running back, and it's like, yeah. It's like, I ain't trying to be there no more. You know? It's like... Right.
I'm looking... That's what I'm getting at. It's like, if I know that lifestyle, right? And I was blessed enough and smart enough to get the fuck out of that lifestyle. There was a reason why I left it. If it was so great, I would have stayed in that lifestyle. But it wasn't. It wasn't great. And so it's like, now that I'm able to do pretty much anything that I want, it's like, why would I willingly choose to go back to that situation? This doesn't make any sense. So it's like, if they're not willing to move forward with you, then they're not the right people for you in this season. Mm-hmm. It's like what you just said. Right now, you're with your people, right? And you're with some hustlers. You're with people that are hungry, that are out there, you know. It's like, why? Because they want to make their money. They know, you know, they might do their thing, whatever they do. And they might do it for whatever reasons they do it. But at the end of the day, iron is sharpening iron. They're hungry. They're working. They're busting their ass. While I'm sitting with the guy that doesn't even care about trying to get his kids. You know, when I open up the laptop to show him the documentation for the lawyer and the retainer fee and all that stuff, he's over there talking about some other dumb shit and just completely ignoring what we're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, I'm over here thinking, why the fuck am I taking the time if I'm not even blood related? These are your kids, and you ain't taking the fucking time? What am I dealing with? I'm dealing with horses that you can lead to water, but they ain't willing to drink. They want to fucking die in their misery and be victims. And it's like, I'm not a victim. So, you know, it's acting on what you know. It goes back to like what you just said. You know, you got the salad and you're like, I can do better. You know you can do better. And so you went and you did better. Because you know that you can do better. And that's the choice. Those are the choices that we have. It's like Groundhog Day. Every day we have to make the same choices that we're making that is moving us into a better direction. Mm-hmm. Instead of going and getting that slice of pizza, you know, and a sandwich or whatever the fuck, you know, shit that isn't benefiting my nutrition, you know, I'm choosing the right nutritional items that are going to help me long term. Yep. And so it's like it's a continuous thing. And when you have the people that are ahead of us, and ahead of us in age and just ahead of us in their respective fields, right? They'll say that it's easier for you to get pulled back in than you to pull anybody out. And it's true. Because I'm sitting there with everybody, and I'm like drinking, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's like the third weekend in a row. Like, nah.
You're like, wait, I thought I don't drink. You know, it's like, when did I start drinking again? You know, it's like...
Exactly. I even smoked a cigarette. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And when I smoked it, I didn't smoke the whole cigarette. I took a puff. I took a couple of the puffs of the cigarette. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? I had to check myself. I'm like, dude, you are fucking tripping. And when I got back to my truck, I'm like, that's what you're doing. You're falling in back into place, and you're not leading. You're being led. It's like, nah.
And by who? And by who? Just the crowd.
Exactly.
The crowd. It wasn't one person in particular. It's the people that are out there, you know, like it was the environment. It had nothing to do with the actual cigarette. It had nothing to do with the actual drink. It's what everybody else was doing. You're like, oh, if they're doing it, I can do it too. So, with that being said, you can also be the dude that sits there without a drink, sits there with that doesn't smoke and doesn't talk all the bullshit and do that stuff, and you could still be that, and you could still be in that environment, but you could be the catalyst for change at the same time. You can't force anybody to do anything. You can't really change a scene on your own. However, you can stand out and you can show people what's really cool. And what's really cool is having that change in your pocket. You know what I mean? That what's really cool is being able to take a week off if you needed to. What's really cool is having all the things that you actually have and that you actually use, and you and having the knowledge that you actually have and you actually use. You know, that's what's cool. We have to redefine what's cool, because if people still think that filling themselves up with spirits and partying all night and having hangovers in the morning is cool, then you know they just need a reality check. That's all. You know, they're not doing anything wrong. They're having fun just like I used to, just like you used to. But they just need a reality check and be like, hey, that's not cool. It's not cool for anybody. Not cool for an older person. It's not cool for a middle-aged person. It's not cool for a young person. It's just not cool. You know what I mean? And people need to know that. What's really cool is being able to have the same type of confidence that a drink gets you while you're sober. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's easy to teach people how to drink, but why don't you teach people, you know, like, how to chop somebody up, or how to introduce yourself, or, you know, how to be a positive impact on somebody. You know what I mean? Just being you can be a positive impact on a bunch of people, and you know that, and you do that. You know what I mean? An example for me, this guy, he saw what I was doing this morning, and he's like, hey, yeah, it looks good. I was like, yeah, this is what I do. Like blah blah blah. I meal prep. I do personal training, and I do solar home water filtration systems and home renovations. Yeah, I do all that. I didn't hit him up, be like, yeah, you need anything? No. But, like, he just knows what I do. I know what he does. He works in the utility industry. This other dude, like, whatever. But it's networking. It's being able to have a conversation. And this other guy walked by, and he pulled out his lunch, right? And he had a salad. And I know he spent about $5 for that salad. $6, maybe even $7. You know what I mean? And he's looking at that, and he's looking at mine, and he looked at his, and he looked at mine, and he put his stuff back in the fridge, and he grabbed his fruit and took off, right? But I was like, okay, so this guy got the chance to see what I'm doing, so maybe just me being me was able to help that guy out the next time, and maybe that's going to put him in a better position later, or maybe not, but that's what's cool to think about in my mind, like how did I help somebody today just being me? It was possibly that scenario.
Yeah, no, and that's it. And again, whether they do it or whether they don't, it's completely on them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like, okay, well, I've been there, done this before. I'm not fixing to start staying in this lane. This ain't the lane. This ain't my lane. Like, nah. And I have been that guy. I have been that guy that doesn't participate in any of that shit. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, well, then you start, again, it goes back to not staying in that situation, because it'll eventually get you, mm-hmm. Right? You gotta move out of that.
You gotta grow.
People are not. Yeah. What I'm saying is, for the people that you are exposing yourself to on a constant basis, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whoever these friends are, it's like, well, you know, you got to look at your friends, and it's like, okay, if you're the one that, if you're the best one in your group, then there's something wrong, right? You gotta change that up.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta, you know, it's like when I was kicking it with Chris, you know, all of a sudden now I'm kicking it with business owners. I'm kicking it with
exactly.
People from the mayor. I'm kicking it with one of the mayors. I'm kicking it with the city treasurer. You know, I'm kicking it with people that are running shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever, you know, it's like now I'm having conversations that are out of my comfort zone because we're talking about some shit that I don't understand about the city treasury and how they're thinking about, you know, the plan for SB 35 and all this shit that they're talking about. And it's like, what? And is that better than having a conversation about, you know, fucking the Kendrick Lamar and fucking Drake, you know, battle? Like, where do I benefit from that battle?
Right.
You know, I don't benefit, you know what I'm saying? I don't benefit from shit. It's just entertainment. It's keeping me distracted from bigger and better things. They're making money because every time somebody listens to it, you know, their record label is making money and they're making money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Chris from Honda used to say, standing in front of me talking to me isn't making you any money.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, all right, let me go fucking get to the phone and go, you know, it's like you can fucking shoot the shit with me if you want all day, but is it making you money? It's like, no. And that's not what it's all about, but it's a good way of, it's a good gauge. Right? Like,
yeah. Sometimes, you know, you have to let people come to their realizations on their own, or else they just don't understand. They just don't get it, right? Because what's said to me in plain English, someone else just doesn't understand it the same way I do, and that happens. But when these people start coming to realizations on their own, you know, that's the difference. Like you said, when Chris told you that, you're like, you know what? I get it. It's not making me any money. But with the same thing too, it's like you got to be able to show people without saying anything, but being an example on how to do the things that they want to do. Like, hey man, you said that you want to be a millionaire. You know, how many millionaires do you know? How many millionaires have you talked to? How many millionaires have you reached out to? You know, it's like, oh, okay. Okay, so let's cut that back in half, you know. Like you said, you're running around with business owners and things like that, so you're in a different game. So when you changed your environment, you changed your network, and your network is your net worth, and you want to be hanging out with a bunch of scrubs, or you want to be hanging out with a bunch of professionals.
Right.
Yeah. And then you can start anywhere, and you can be a professional in a scrubs position and move your way out of there just by being noticed. You know what I mean? Just by bringing value to the table, and just by concentrating and focusing on your own thing. You can't focus on anybody else's thing and expect to be as successful as they are, because it's theirs. You gotta work for yourself as hard as you would work for somebody else. I know that I'm getting better at that. You know what I mean? I know that, however, I do things just a tad bit different. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll put my stuff on display, but I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. But if people want to see results, they're gonna want to work with me, and that's it. You know what I mean? Because I'm making a log of this even this conversation, right? So I'm making a log of this, so when people, you know, they come back and listen to this video or somehow find this video, they're like, yeah, that guy did have a lot of good points. This video was made a year ago and I see where he's at now. He goes, maybe I should do what this guy was doing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, that's kind of where change happens. That's kind of where the catalyst is at, and you know, that's the person that I want to be. You know, it's not, I don't make much noise, but a lot of stuff happens when I'm around. That's the guy I want to be. That's all.
Yeah, man.
All right, with that being said, bro, I'm going to end this video, but